guys, what's up? So, I've been thinking a lot lately, and I've realized you can learn an amazing amount about society from its entertainment media. I say that, and I'm pretty sure everyone thinks, well, duh, of course you can. And I also think that everyone knows that our media has been reinforcing hatred and ignorance for a really long time now. But we're making progress, right? Well, maybe not. Imagine you're watching a TV show. A man needs a date, so his friend buys him an escort. The man's terrified, but his friend reassures him that he'd never, and I quote, stick him with some toothless tranny from Port Authority. That word, tranny. People use it like it's just a synonym for transgender, but that word has a history of hatred and violence behind it. There's a word for words like that. They're called slurs. A slur is a slur, regardless of whether it's based on race or gender. But people call me tranny all the time, and they laugh about it. I don't take kindly to it. That's not their word to use, and even we don't use it. And of course, they just tell me to chill, because no one likes an angry tranny. But hey, let's get back to our favorite TV show. It's a season later, and our main character is out on a date, and none of his friends like this girl. He wonders why. Maybe she murders puppies! But then he has a far worse thought. He sees their future wedding in his mind. He tells her how much he loves her, and then his future wife reveals that she used to be a guy. How horrifying! She's not a puppy killer, she's a tranny! And society laughs. It's like somehow finding out a woman is transgender is literally worse than finding out that she partakes in animal cruelty and slaughter for fun. And then society looks at me, and they think I'm a fraud and a liar who likes to get his jollies in the ladies' room or by tricking men into having sex with me. And they laugh at me, like they laughed at the TV. And then I go home and cry, as another transgender child takes their own life and another black trans woman is murdered. Wow, that got serious quick, didn't it? Not really, it's the same thing. There's a word for what we're talking about. It's called casual transphobia. So what is that exactly? We all know transphobia, right? Actually, wait, that's not even true. See, most people I meet who are not trans have never even heard that word before. They say homophobic. And that's a perfect example of casual transphobia. It's not a guy out in the street holding a sign that says God hates trannies, or a man smashing a glass into a trans woman's face at a bar because his girlfriend was frightened by her transness. It's drag queens throwing around the word tranny as though it were funny or even theirs to use. It's total strangers on the street thinking it's okay to ask us how we pee or have sex or what genitals we own. It's someone I know telling me how interesting I am or introducing me as their trans friend. It's the people who don't judge or understand because they have a gay or trans cousin. It's seeing Caitlyn Jenner at Spirit as a Halloween costume. It's even some trans people who treat pronouns like titles that have to be earned by dressing and acting stereotypically enough, and who police non-binary individuals by telling them that their pronouns aren't real. It's the person who tells a trans woman she doesn't look trans, as though transness was an insult and cis-passing was a compliment, and then keeps it up by telling her that her jaw kind of gives it away. It's even the well-intended but still backhanded compliments from strangers who put the emphasis on how they think I'm really pretty. As though I wasn't already aware that my transness is a part of my beauty. It's every time a cisgender actor gets cast for the leading role playing a trans character in a film about trans lives, written by a cis person, directed by a cis person, and produced by a cis person for a cisgender audience. It's the people rolling their eyes right now at my abundant use of the word cisgender instead of normal who don't understand that the word cisgender is absolutely necessary because transgender people are normal. It's every microaggression and rude question. It's every harmful word, statement, and joke, and every laugh that follows. And the saddest part is that we have all done it, and we have all had the blood of transgender murder victims and suicides on our hands because that is what gets us killed. Whoa, what an inflammatory statement to make, right? A lot of people would be offended that I would insinuate their complicity because they'd never intentionally do anything to harm a trans person. But that's the thing about casual transphobia. It doesn't have to have hate behind it, it creates hate. And most of the time, it's not done intentionally. It's done out of ignorance, and most of the time, it's not even done by the people we would usually think of or who would think of themselves as transphobic. It's the rest of us who could change so much about the world if we just remembered that we need to challenge the status quo and accept that if a trans person says something is harmful to trans people, it is harmful to trans people, and that the appropriate response to that is never to defend oneself, but always to acknowledge one's privilege, take ownership and responsibility for the mistake, and fight for change. While we think about that, let's return to our hypothetical TV show. It's several seasons later, and we've seen transphobia run rampant through our main character's mind as a main staple of the show's humor. And it's never used satirically to fight transphobia, but always used to perpetuate tired, harmful myths about trans people for a few cheap laughs. Certainly we'd never see such a show on television today. I wish that was true. But it's not hypothetical. It's How I Met Your Mother, and it won the GLAAD Award for fair, accurate, and inclusive representations of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities. No wonder the T sometimes feels left alone in the hole after everyone else has crawled out. Casual transphobia is the root of all transphobia, and as long as it is allowed to continue, we will keep losing trans lives. And we've lost enough. The death toll in the United States for 2015 alone is already into the mid-20s. And those are just the ones we know about, and I can guarantee you that number will probably go up by the time a lot of people see this video. So what can we do about it? Simple. Erase casual transphobia from our vocabularies. Stop the slurs, stop the jokes, stop the assumptions, all of it. It's harmful. And learn, if you're not trans, you never get to decide what is and isn't offensive and harmful to transgender people. That's our job. Your job is to shut up and listen and learn to respect human beings for who they are. And as transgender people, our job is not to stand for it. I've learned a lot in my life that I end up losing friends and family and whatever sometimes for my transness. That's not going to change regardless of whether or not I choose to correct them on this crap. And if someone is going to take more offense to me pointing out their casual transphobia than they are going to take to the fact that transphobia is responsible for violence against trans people, I really don't need that kind of person in my life. And neither do you. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I want to give a special thanks to my supporters on patreon.com. You guys make this channel possible. Thank you. Until next time, be yourself.